So I've been stripping the top of the cab here with my I forgot what you call these things. You see them all over the internet. Surface conditioning tools, what this one's called, from Harbor Freight. I got it at a discount because it was missing that bolt. That's left-hand thread, so I had to order that. But anyway, this is this stripping drum is labeled 40 grit, so it does a pretty good job. See, it doesn't get down into the pits of the rust. We'll have to convert that. We'll use a little wire brush on it and then see how much of it comes out, but probably have to use rust converter on it. Anyway, so I got the rest of this all the way over here, so I've got about a fourth or a fifth of it done. And then I'm going to go back with a shrinking disc and hit some of these spots that will benefit from that, and then the rest of it will take a little bit of body filler. So I don't think you need to see me going up and down with this. It's extremely loud, and I'll just show you my progress after a few minutes. Okay, got it all stripped. These, well, there's some primer. There's a spot in this, that's primer. Anyway, see there's some pitting. I'm gonna have to use rust converter on that and then sand it. Hopefully the rust converter will stay down in those pits. See, these pits are clean. The rust came out of the pits. Which is interesting. I may go at it again with that thing at different directions. See if I can't get those to do like these did. Because I'm happy with that. I put epoxy primer on that. And then 2 or 3 coats of high build primer. And that, I'm not sure. Let me try some rust mort on these instead of the other stuff that turns thick and black that I've got. In fact, I may try to figure out a way of soaking these with vinegar. That's what I'm going to do in here. I'm going to rotisserize this thing upside down and just pour vinegar in here let it soak a couple of days. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I think it'll work good. Okay, I'm trying an experiment with vinegar. I ordered some waterproof tape a while back, and it's yellow, and I accidentally got it mixed up with my automotive masking tape. This piece is not waterproof, so it's caused a leak, even though I've added all this there. Anyway, little saran wrap here, and I taped it on 3 sides, and then I poured a little bit of vinegar in there, so even where it's ran off, it's staying moist for now, and we'll see how it does. One interesting thing is where it leaked and ran down right here, and it turned yellow with surface rust in a couple of minutes. So then I wiped it off with a wet rag with water, and look what it left behind. It was only on there about 2 minutes. Look what it did. Then took some vinegar on a rag and just smeared it around on these rusty pitted areas. And it's been on there about a minute or 2 minutes. You can see the surface rust forming. Then I took just a wire brush, a pretty good one, to where the bristles are all still straight and don't have grease all over. This to work it in. It's already drying. I'm gonna moisten that up with a little bit more vinegar. See how that flash rust just wipes off. For now, anyway. It'll need to be neutralized with water before I finish playing with this area, but see that. And my hope is these bristles will get down into those pits. Loosen up that rust. I did some experiments with vinegar and that piece of PVC pipe there with the grocery bag cap on top. And I put pipe and parts and stuff down in there and left them for 2 days, and it did a really good job of moving around. Some of those pieces are now part of the rotisserie. Can't tell you which parts. Probably some of these angle iron here. And some of it was 4 hours, some of it was 24 hours, but 2 days seemed to do real well. And then I even did some where I left it in there like a week, and it wasn't really any different than 2 days. 2 days seems to be plateau for the effectiveness of it. Of course, I'm sure if you wanted to brush it or whatever and then go again and re-dip it, you'll probably get some increase in your results. Anyway, you see just while I was away with my phone how the flash rust. Well, that's with vinegar. There's vinegar on here, but there's no air on it. So I'm gonna give it, I guess I'll give it 2 days. Okay, well, I thought you might want to see this because when you think about surface rust, you don't really think about it being, even though it's only been on there a few minutes, you think, oh man, you're gonna have to sand it again. Well, this is a paper towel with actually some of my Dasani drinking water, because that's what I had handy. Okay, well, I would brag about what's on that towel, but that's not the original rust that was on there. That's the flash rust that appeared after putting vinegar on it. So, take a dry towel to try to slow down the flash rust of just having water on it. See, some of it turned black, converted to oxide, so to speak. I think I could put rust converter on that and then sand it with 80 grit and hopefully leave the converter behind down inside the bits and just put epoxy on it. But this works good. We'll just do this. We'll do this in bigger patches until we've done all we need to do. Wish I had a little sample on that right there. It's a nice isolated, concentrated spot of rust. Pitted rust. Okay, I got it poured in there. And this time it's not leaking. As you can see, it's pretty full. So I'm going to go ahead and tape the top of that. I'm going to squeeze out a little bit of air as I tape it and show that to you. Okay. Of course, it's all pulled down here. If I had turned the ElCamino, upright, flat, this probably would have been a better experiment, but I did get most of the air out of it. I just have most of the liquids going down here. And it does not appear to be leaking. So you got a good look at this before I did this. So see, there's a pretty good light angle. Shows how rusty that is. If that finishes up looking like these pits where the rust came out of the pits, that's not vinegar, that's just from using that conditioning machine. So we'll see. It would be so nice not to depend on rust converter to just actually remove all the rust from this top. Well, here it is after 24 hours, approximately. It's interesting how they, I didn't know what to expect. But this down here, where it's fully submerged in vinegar, looks just like yesterday. But this up here, there's definitely oxidation. I mean, I don't know if it's coming from this down here or just that. But if you look at this one, where there's hardly any liquid left, it all leaked out. That is nearly dry. I don't know if I'm gonna leave that till tomorrow. I think I done messed up. Leaving that another day is not going to make any difference because it's not even really damp under there. It's dry. So I guess I'll clean that up. I'll untape it and then we'll go over it with a wet paper towel and see what is left behind. So I was thinking about uncovering this one after 24 hours. But I think I'll let it go the 48 hours and take this one off today. Since it's not going as planned. Well, I forgot to turn my camera on, but that's what a wet paper towel came back with. It's quite a result. Although now we got some dried, stuck on rusty scum. I I'll just keep rubbing at it for a while, but all right, I went over that area with the DA and 80 grit sandpaper, and it did pretty much what I thought it would do. You know, you put it up on its edge and dig in a little bit, it would remove some of it, but there's a lot of pits that are still holding rust. And then I put on a fresh piece of 80 grit. You can see how it did this, which I don't mind that roughness, but see, it didn't take that rust out of those pits. I mean, you really wouldn't want it to, because that means you've removed half the thickness of the metal, and you don't want to do that. So I'm gonna try, see, what I've been using is this stuff right here that I got off of Amazon, and it does convert rust. It does definitely. See the shovel? That's true to life. It'll convert it, but it's thick and kind of leathery. So I've got some rust mort left from long ago. It's more liquidy, less leathery. And I'm going to put a little bit of that on a couple of these spots. See what they do. If you've ever used rust converter on bare metal surfaces, especially surfaces that are really not rusty, this will look familiar to you. And this has been rinsed with a wet rag and then dried. Hopefully some of these places like this, see that? Those pits look black, which I take that to mean converted. We'll see. I think even if that was rust, and once you put epoxy over that, I don't think it'll come back. I could be wrong, but I don't think it will. So it's not going to have any moisture or oxygen to get to it once epoxy's been applied. And as long as it's applied properly, I wouldn't spray it on here just as it is, although it doesn't look it, but it is very clean. Yeah, it needs to be sanded one more time before epoxy primed. But I don't know if we're going to do that today or not. Well, we're not, because we still got this experiment running. After doing all this, we're just about past the experimental stage. We need to get some work done. When I put the epoxy primer on this, I want to do this, the package tray. Don't really need any more on this. I got one coat on this. It's ready for high build primer. But all this needs to be cleaned up really good and coated with epoxy primer. I think I'll do rest more on that right there. Interesting. Looks like it converted the rust, maybe. Look at that. It's coming out of those pits, isn't it? almost got it all out of those pits. Let me moisten that up one more time and brush it one more time, and then we'll see if you can tell any difference between that and the next shot. Wow, look at that. Pretty happy with that. Now if I could just get it to look like that everywhere where there's pits and rust. But it takes 2 days. Let me see what I can do with that. Just in a few minutes of vinegar and brush and see what happens. Well, made a difference. So I wasn't quite happy with the top, the ElCamino, because I still got pits with rust down in them. And so I'm going to try this again. I got it taped down really good this time, so hopefully we won't have any leaks, but I'm going to try a much larger area. I'm going to put the vinegar in there and leave it 2 days. And I'm going to try to get it distributed evenly, so after I get it all in there and taped up, then I'm gonna rotate the body back up toward level. And I might even actually apply some tape in strategic places to help push the fluid, the vinegar over to where I want it. But you know, as you can see, mainly it's these pitted areas right here. This up here's not as bad, and then this up here doesn't really have any problems except there's a little bit there. I think it'd be okay to spray epoxy over even these areas, but I gotta do better, I think. I don't know. What do you think? Right, I got it in there. See how full it is over here. And I have a small leak right there. And then I had a small leak right here. I may have stopped it. Let's try tilting it over some more. Yeah, I may try to adjust the rotisserie to get some of this to go this way. Let's try that first, and then I'll start trying to see taping across here, which pushes this up. It's only gonna go as far as the tape, so I'm not gonna tape the whole thing, but it's like the majority of it. It's not gonna lay right here no matter what I do because it's curved this way and this way. But if it just stayed moist, I'd be happy. I'm gonna give it 2 days. This is Monday, noonish. We'll take a little look at it tomorrow, and then Wednesday we'll peel it off if it hadn't all leaked out. Okay, I showed you that, but I haven't showed you that. I just got through with that. And I had leaks. Looks like I might still have leaks. I don't know. But anyway, I'll try to give this 2 days if it doesn't all leak out. Okay, it's been 24 hours. Looks like we don't have any big leaks. There's a streak coming down from that one. Yeah, I think this is gonna... See how these rusty spots are kind of highlighted now? Yeah. Anyway, let's get a closer look at that one. Let's see if we can't tilt this puppy over a little bit. Okay, here we are, 48 hours into it, and it looks like, guess we'll see. Anyway, I gotta take all this off. Looks like neither one of them leaked very bad, but keeping the vinegar where you want it is not easy. I'm gonna have to drain these into something pretty full. Okay. Okay, got both of those big packages, or patches, I mean, peeled off. And just gonna go right after some of these bits here. And of course it didn't just jump out of there on its own. But I'm gonna moisten those spots with vinegar and go after them with the plain old wire brush. And see, let me start with these two right here. I'll bring you back and let you look how well it did. Well, made a difference. I'm just really happy with that. It took 2 days to soak it, but I really I don't think I have enough patience to do much more on this experiment. I need to neutralize that with water now. It's just gonna keep flash rusting. I think I might do a second coat of rust mort. Just because of that color. Some of this. If it all looked like that, I'd be happy. Okay. There it is with all I'm going to do to it as far as rust. These places like this have rust converter in them. A lot of them I was able to remove the rust. Pretty happy with it, other than well, I'm happy enough with it. And I will probably sand this one more time just before I prime it to get rid of any flash rust that might show. Okay, Finally got a coat of epoxy paint primer. Got the holes, these two holes for the paint coat plate. I sanded that EDP with some 320 to make that epoxy grab hold. And these areas like this is going to need a little bit of filler work still. But where I welded it and I used the fiberglass filler, that's this line right here. So pretty happy with that. But we're going to do a little transition. Gotta touch up that a little bit. And this down here is the same way. So you can see the unevenness, but now you can see it. Before I couldn't really see what I needed to do, but now I can see what I need to do. And regular body filler goes nice right over epoxy. You just have to rough it up a little bit. There's places like this that I want to fill. But check out the top. It's looking good. I'll massage these ripples and things. Move it back a little bit. Really happy with that. And over here, there's very few defects. Oh, in this corner, I had to redo this corner, and I'll show you that. So this I didn't even notice, so I have to put a little filler there. But this corner, I had to rebuild this whole corner. So it's gonna need just a little bit of filler right there, a little bit right there, and then we can soften that edge a little bit. But I think I'm gonna save this for when I have the windshield, because I gotta check the fit of the windshield to see if I got this corner right. It's fared in pretty good with this metal here. But yeah, this was just only one application with fiberglass filler on top of a metal patch that I had to weld in right there. So. But look at that. Look at that top. Try to ignore that. Huh? That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah. Oh yeah, and the package tray. Look at that, huh? Very happy with that. Cell panel. Remember, all of this is new. Happy with that too. All of this is new. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching.